Now, I've already made an explanation for this in 2 videos, and I'll have another one in 2022, but because I thought it would be fun, I figured I would answer the question as to why I use Lucario to represent myself on the internet, and have the answer be the focus of a video. But that in and of itself will be too short of a concept, so I'll also describe the history of the channel. This won't be too in-depth of an analysis, but the reason why is because if it was, then it would be really fucking boring, so let's get into it. So I've already discussed the creation of my channel, but oh wait, I unlisted that video, so I may as well explain the channel's creation here. So I was hanging out with my friend Lucas one day, and he told me that he had created a YouTube channel. Now I've watched YouTube videos 2 years before that point, but it wasn't until after seeing one of my greatest friends create a channel of his own that really compelled me to take this seriously. So on July 31st, 2015, I created my YouTube channel and called it Retro Nintendo Gaming. But one of the requirements for making a YouTube channel is having a profile picture, so I downloaded some random image of Mr. Game & Watch, and that was that. But now you may be wondering as to why I chose Mr. Game & Watch, and the simple reason as to why is because I find him to be fascinating. Not only is he a representation of Nintendo's roots, but he's also just a very goofy looking character. Now though, you may be wondering about my motivations for making YouTube videos at the time, and they were based on fame. But I eventually learned that making Minecraft videos and other Let's Plays wasn't a good path towards that, as given how everyone was already doing that, I was a long way from the top. I didn't truly hit this revelation though until August 1st, 2016, and that's where I took a 4-month break, and it was when I returned that I decided to add a new goal along with fame, this being fun. It's for this reason why I've uploaded far more videos than my friends, as I decided to take my channel less seriously and just have fun with it. So that's what I did. For up to 2017, I'd just experiment with different ideas and have fun with it. But I'm getting ahead of myself, so let's rewind. It was sometime during 2017 or 2018 that I wanted to make the switch from using Mr. Game & Watch as a mascot to Lucario instead. Now, the reason as to why is because Lucario before that point was my second favorite fictional character, but was slowly becoming my favorite, so that's why I made the switch. The reason why he's my favorite, though, is simply because he looks really cool to me, and having that connection with him with 2 of my favorite series in Smash and Pokemon just allowed me to like him even more. Honestly, I'm glad I made that change too, as I honestly can't imagine myself using Mr. Game & Watch to represent myself anymore, and Lucario just feels more like me, as the more videos I make using this character, the more I feel like a part of the character. Granted, I do always feel weird saying that, especially given how adamant I tend to be about not being a furry, but picture yourself passionately making videos of a similar style of mine for years, and I'm sure you'd start to feel like the mascot you gave yourself too. But I'm getting ahead of myself, as I didn't start using character stills until sometime in 2018. Before that point, I was continuing to experiment with different formulas, and I was able to find something that stuck from 2017 to mid-2018, where I'd make these unscripted competitive Pokemon analyses. But eventually I got bored of that formula, and I wanted to find a new way of expressing my love for Pokemon. So with inspiration gathered from channels like Turkey Tom, Saberspark, and Rebel Taxi, I drew up some pictures of Lucario and used them to represent myself as I talked about various topics. And I was with a video talking about Pikachu's popularity that I was finally able to do not only that, but also be able to start consistently scripting my videos. So not only was Lucario a mascot to me, but he also helped me discover what would end up becoming one of my favorite things to do in writing. This concept was good enough for me to want to go all in with it for the rest of the year, but a roadblock was coming. That roadblock being a lack of inspiration. This was far from the worst period of my life, but it was easily the most mundane. It just revolved around me going home and just playing video games. Sure, I draw and compose every now and then, but this period of my life just felt pointless. Thankfully, though, I'd end up uploading a video, and it would end up being the one that would change everything for me. I didn't know it would do this, not even when it was uploaded, not even well after the fact, but it would end up being my World of Light video that would be the one to hit 500 views before any other, and as such it opened the door for more people to see my other videos. But it took 6 months for it to hit even 100 views. It's because of that that you may be wondering if I was able to keep any consistency during those months. And I did, because I started uploading monthly, with a new video in June and 2 in July. with the latter completely reinvigorating the passion I had for making these. But this all came to a stop, as I couldn't upload in August, September, or October, as I was moving at the time, and also because I was working on what is still currently the most ambitious video I've ever worked on, where I tried to find the perfect Pokemon. It was after this video that I made another absurdly long video, and it was after the production of that I promised myself that I'd be able to upload bi-weekly. It was a very scary step at the time, but since we were still living in a pandemic, it did make the goal easier for me to achieve, and I was able to achieve it, keeping the grind going for a month before I pushed the limits of my abilities even further and started uploading weekly. But before I end up getting ahead of myself, I want to say that 2020 was one of the best years of my entire life. It's the year where making friends was finally starting to get easier for me, entirely due to me adopting the nickname, which I've since made my channel's username starting in 2020. It's a sign to me that no matter how sad you get, that there will always be someone who cares about you. And that's something I never want to forget about. But something else I've been realizing is that I couldn't have gotten to the point I am now if I didn't take any risks. It was taking the risks of progressively pumping out content faster that I eventually led to my first tastes of success this channel has seen. I'm glad I realized this now, as it was when I stopped uploading weekly that the big audience I had gathered had stopped caring, and I'm now at a point where my analytics are in a rough area. It's because of this that I've been not nearly as motivated as I once was, but even then, I still upload, because if I stopped, then I would just be who I was in 2019, and I don't want to live there anymore. Instead of living in a real-world version of Groundhog Day, I'm instead going to do what I can to continue making this channel bigger and bigger. It's with that I've gained a third motivation for making videos, as it's no longer just fame and fun that I want, but I also want to get money off of this. And the reason why is because YouTube sounds like the only job where I have the freedom to take it where I want. And it's because of that YouTube is my only escape from the monotonous boredom and pointlessness I feel from everyday life. But we don't live in 2020 anymore, so let's discuss the year after it. Now that it's 2021, I've been getting back into the groove of everything for over a year now. I feel like I'm still trying to find my footing and see what ideas stick, though. But for now, I've put a majority of my eggs into the Pokemon basket, because making Pokemon videos comes very easily to me. However, I have been trying to make my secondary focus on anime this year, as it's another subject I'm deeply passionate about, which is good since I can safely assume that most Pokemon fans are also anime fans. Something else you may have realized, though, is that I'll occasionally go out of my way to make a video that doesn't fit those two categories, my wrestling video being an example of that. And the reason why is because I want to have fun with this. However, when I continue writing this, I continue to question why I'm making this. Perhaps I'm jerking myself off, but I like the more probable one that I just needed an explanation for why I care so deeply about this channel. So even if the script evolved from the channel's creation to what I stated previously, I still think it was all worth it in the end, as I want to make the rest of the year great, even without a pandemic that forces me out of the difficulties of life. And I hope to make 2022 even better, as I want to push the limits of what I think I'm capable of doing on YouTube.